it's Unicorn Princess here, and today I'm doing another tag that I've seen floating around the internet, which is the 50 things about me tag. Because I realised that we know each other and we're at that level now where I feel like you should know more about me. So I'm going to tell you 50 things about me. Okay, here goes. So number one, I have to get the deformed or the defunct version of things. So like if I'm buying a pastry in a shop and there's one that's kind of wiggly and weird looking, I have to get that one. Or if there's a cat with like a missing foot or something, I've got to adopt that cat. And the reason is because if I don't, I'm afraid that nobody will ever love them or that they will never live out their purpose. I have like an overabundance of empathy. I care so much. When people are crying, I will cry. And when I see people embarrassing themselves, like in movies and in TV, I feel embarrassed for them, even though I know that it's acting. Number three, I'm pretty sure you know this one already, but I am terrified of the ocean. I recently learned that the pet name for it is thalassophobia, after the Greek gods of the ocean. I'm fine if I can see to the bottom and there's nothing in there but sand and maybe a couple of goldfish, but as soon as it's like deep and dark and bottomless pit, that is terrifying. Or if there's anything in there like bigger fish or squids or anything, I don't even like being on a boat. Number four, I am 5'1", though I wish I was 5'2", because you can model for Angelic Pretty if you're 5'2". I have a shoe size that is size 3 in some places and size 2 in other places, which makes it really hard to buy like grown-up shoes. I can't find heels anywhere, but I can buy kids' shoes, which is good because they're more colourful than adult shoes. I have like a bunch of tunes that I sing all the time that I just invented. I was literally just singing one now. It goes do-do-do, 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 and I was singing it with Oreos, Oreos, Oreos. I also have da-na-na, 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 and I don't know why. I sing while brushing my teeth all the time. I don't sing anything in particular, I literally just like hum sounds, so I'm like I have a handful of words that I use too much or like in every sentence, and some of those words are doodads, it's used for everything. And the same with jazz. Jazz can be a thing or it can be like an activity. I use them for everything. I've also been told that I use the F word way too much. I went to a crazy rough high school, which is sad because I had a horrible time in high school, but because of it I have like a really high tolerance for certain kinds of pain, and it's made me kind of strong and independent and stuff. I love dancing and singing and acting and modelling and talking and pretty much any kind of like entertainment-y type thing, and if I could have a job that was any one of those things or a combination of all of them, I would be very happy. I have kind of an obsession with learning languages. I studied German for 4 years in school and French for 4 years in primary school. I studied Spanish for 2 years in uni, and at the minute I'm learning Korean and Japanese and a little bit of Chinese. I've also been learning British Sign Language, and I read and write fluently in one dialect of runes. I've also been studying Hebrew and Latin for funsies. I was born a crazy 3 months early. Because of this weird birth date, the star sign I was born under is Sagittarius, but I also check out the Pisces because that's when I was supposed to be born. So I like to consider myself like mostly Pisces with a sprinkling of Sagittarius, and my Chinese zodiac sign is the year of the horse. Number 14 is that I am dyslexic, pretty majorly dyslexic. I have problems with reading and writing, and numbers and patterns and memory and all kinds of stuff. And when I was in school, they told me that I would never be able to get any higher education than a high school level, and I proved them wrong. I have a pretty ridiculous metal allergy. I've probably mentioned this before. It's not just nickel and copper like it is for a lot of people. It's pretty much every single metal that isn't 24 karat gold and like 100% silver. I'm even allergic to sterling silver. It brings my skin out in a crazy rash, which eventually turns into blisters within the space of like a day, and then my skin peels off and goes all shiny like when you burn yourself on the oven or with straighteners, and it gradually gets worse. So everything I wear is either like this 24 karat white gold, and this doesn't touch my skin, and I wear ribbon instead of chains. I collect glasses cleaning cloths, and I have like, oh, that's ribbon, but I have millions of them. I think I have 30, maybe, and it's gotten to the stage now where people will actually give me their glasses cloths when they're not using them anymore. I am an avid scrapbooker. I have, I think, 4 or 5 different scrapbooks for various different occasions. This is one of my oldest ones. This is my happy book. It's filled with things that make me happy. This is a scrapbook of pictures of me and my boyfriend and various things that happened in our relationship. This is my biggest scrapbook. This is my events scrapbook. So every birthday, Christmas, every time I get a card or anything, it's documented in this book. I also have a specific scrapbook for all my Lolita pictures, so anytime I do a photo shoot or anything with friends or anything, it goes in here. Since leaving high school, I have been to college twice, and I'm currently in university. And since leaving high school, I have studied psychology, sociology, philosophy, geography, history, English, maths, a whole bunch of languages, business, and art, because I like learning. I have a whole bunch of favourite animals, so it's really hard to pick a few, but I like the kind of cute but weird-ish ones. One of my favourite animals is the elephant shrew. It's adorable. I also love the mouse deer and the Japanese dwarf flying squirrel. There's probably a whole bunch more, but besides cats, rabbits, and dogs, those are my top favourite animals. Since I turned 16, I have moved house 5 times. Another weird allergy, I'm really intolerant to pain medication, so like paracetamol and ibuprofen and stuff like that. When I take half a paracetamol, and within half an hour, I drool and I'm all over the place. It's like I'm crazy drunk, and it often lasts until the next day. Just on like a whole list of weird problems. I have this weird thing with electricity that I'm kind of investigating with my doctors right now, where my phones and tablets, computers, everything I touch dies really fast, like crazy fast. Definitely faster than they should die, and I don't do anything bad to them. Like I look after them really well, but they just kind of fizzle to death. And weird things happen to them. One of the common ones is when I'm on the phone, people can hear me, but it's like a weird robot voice, like I'm going through a tunnel. I often have people call me when they're sitting next to me, and my phone will be fully charged and the call isn't coming through for some reason. I once worked for New Look, and they had a sign-in system where you put your finger on a scanner and it finds your fingerprint and scans you in, and the whole time that I worked for New Look, it didn't detect my fingerprint. They tried every one of my fingers, and they got a technician in to make sure that there was nothing wrong with the machine, and they said that it was totally fine and it should register me, and I left that place without ever being scanned into the machine because it wouldn't detect me. I come from a very musical family. Growing up, both of my parents are super into music, instruments and singing and all kinds of stuff like that. And I think I was just lucky, maybe, but I can hear harmonies in everything. I can sing along to the washing machine. I can pick out a key and then sing along to it. But I can also find all of the harmonies up and down of that sound. So my mum will have us over for Christmas and she'll get me and my sister together and she'll be like, sing that song, and I'll inevitably have to default to the harmony of the song while my sister sings the melody. A lot of the time without practice it's just like, go. I love music. I can't even really pick a favourite genre of music. I love metal music and I love J-pop and K-pop. I love classical music. I love everything. But any music that is sung in a different language, if I like the song, I have to learn the lyrics and sing along to it, and that's half the reason behind why I am learning to speak so many languages. I love cake and pastries and donuts and pancakes and all confectionery things like those. I would literally eat them all day, every day, if there were no repercussions for eating that much sugar and fat. On the flip side of that, I absolutely hate mushrooms. I have tried multiple times to eat mushrooms, but I hate them. I also hate broccoli, and I really don't eat an awful lot of meat because I seriously disagree with the way that we keep our animals in this country. I was a vegetarian for a number of years. I'm not anymore for a whole bunch of reasons, but yeah. I have kept rabbits, hamsters, mice, guinea pigs, birds, cats, ever since I was little and pretty much all throughout my life. I really like wrestling. It sounds funny. I get really competitive. I'm into a lot of competitive things, even things initially I thought I didn't like. I get really into them. And at the minute, I'm really into pro wrestling. I watch New Japan and Ring of Honor and NXT and WWE. And currently my favourite wrestlers from various divisions are Okada, Dalton Castle, and I'm gonna say Shinsuke Nakamura and Bailey? It's really hard to pick. Oh, and Finn Balor. I love Finn Balor. He's... Whew. And Kota Ibushi. Oh god, I'm gonna just give a list. I have a list. I like a lot of wrestlers. I get super emotional. I try to keep it under wraps a lot of the time. I have a kind of cool, calculated attitude. But when I'm watching movies that are sad, I just cry and don't stop. So when I watched Hachiko, A Dog's Tale, there was mountains of tissues on my couch. And when I watched Wolf Children in the cinema, I managed to keep it together all the way through the film until the end when the lights went up and someone said, "Well done, you didn't cry," and then I burst into tears and cried all the way home. I am like an onboard counsellor for a whole bunch of people. I really get, like from an empathetic point of view, I get a lot of emotional stuff. I understand a lot of mental stuff, and my interest in psychology helps a lot with that jazz, but a lot of my friends and even people that I don't know very well confide in me and tell me a lot of stuff, and I kind of help them out with it. For a while I was even on call, like people could call me any time of the night if they were having a hard time, and I would talk them into feeling better because I like helping people. I am obsessed with plushies. It's not that I don't have like a specific type that I like, I'm very particular. To the untrained eye it looks like I like everything, but I don't. I have a very, very particular type of plushie that I like, and that is dumb, simple, stumpy limbs, beady dead eyes. And that's why my favourite plushie companies are like Amuse. I love Amuse plushies. I love the little Twin Stars plushies because they're super cute. I also love Jellycat, but I am properly obsessed with plushies. I think it might be a texture thing as well as a cuteness thing, and a comfort thing. My favourite colours are pink and mint, and rainbows. I work as a maid in a maid cafe called Marshmallow Dreams, and I've been working with them since almost the very beginning, and it's awesome, and I have great fun. You should check out our website. I'll put it in the description below. It's Marshmallow no Yume, Marshmallow Dreams. Check us out. When I was a little younger, I was absolutely obsessed with Animal Crossing on the DS. I was on it pretty much 24/7 when I was on holiday in Spain. I also love the Zelda games. I love the Zelda games for the DS. I love puzzles and mysteries, and I'm super into them. The first job I ever had was working in an office, and I absolutely hated it. I will never work in an office again. I believe in magic. Things that science has figured out doesn't mean that they're not still magic, it just means that we understand them better. So flying and electricity and stuff like that, there's still their own kinds of magic. And I feel like we will discover things like how to walk through walls and how to read minds if we just look into it a bit more, I think. When I was really little, I used to run a snail farm. I used to go around my garden and pick out snails and put them in a tub, and I put rocks and leaves and everything for them to live in, and I gave them all names, but at the end of the night I hated the idea of them being stuck in the tub, so I used to turn it on its side and let them all escape back into the night, and in the morning I'd go around and collect them all up again. I am Scottish, if you couldn't tell. I was born somewhere in Edinburgh, I think, and although I've travelled all over the place and even lived in other countries, I lived in Australia for 2 years, I am mostly here in Scotland. I'm super intolerant, if not allergic, to caffeine. Fizzy juice or coffee or tea, anything like that, I drink it and my stomach turns itself in knots. It's awful and horrible, which is sad because I love the taste of coffee. My lucky numbers are 7 and 14, and anywhere where I can't just get Unicorn Princess as a name for something, they will have variations of 7 and 14 in them to pad it out so that I can have the name. I'm not mega into TV, really, but there are a couple of TV series that I love, including True Blood. I love True Blood. Game of Thrones, The Walking Dead, things like that. Those are good series. I love glitter! If glitter didn't look really tacky in masses, I would probably just roll around in it and then leave covered in glitter. I'm wearing glitter today. I don't know if you can see it. Glitter! Look at me sparkle. My favourite styles to wear are Sweet Lolita, Maho Key, and Yume Kawaii, which is kind of what I'm wearing right now, and goth. I love horror movies. Like 70% of the movies that I want to watch are horror movies, but it's gotten to the stage where nothing scares me anymore, so I have to look really hard to find proper good scary movies, and I prefer ghosty ones as opposed to like slasher flicks. I went to Disneyland for the first time ever July last year in Japan, and I've become completely obsessed with it. I plan to visit every Disneyland all over the world, and one of my dreams is to meet all of the Disney princesses and have my picture taken with them. I am a huge Marvel and DC fan. Like, I love superhero things in general, but I love the Marvel movies, I love the X-Men series, I love Captain America, and then DC, I love Batman. DC haven't been as good recently, but I love superhero movies. Whenever I go and see them, I judge how good they are by how often the hair on my arms stands up. One of my life goals is to grow my hair to my ideal length, which is knee length. It's been a bit hard going because I straighten my hair because it's so crazy, but it's getting there slowly. I would be very happy to have knee-length Rapunzel-esque hair. I love organising. I have loads of cabinets and display shelves and stuff, and I will take everything out just to put them back again because I like reorganising and shuffling things, and it has to be perfect. And likewise, I love decorating. Hence why it's taken so long for me to show you guys my room. It's taken forever because everything needs to be perfect. And I'm finally getting my princess room, so I'm not cutting any corners with it. The only perfume or spray I will ever wear is something that smells like chocolate. So my favourite perfume is a Body Shop perfume called Amaretto. This is partially because I have a really sensitive nose, and I smell everything. So whenever it's like people have bathed themselves in perfume, I can't breathe around them and my throat really hurts. And even for me, if I just scoosh it in the air and then walk through it, I feel like I stink. And lastly, for fact number 50, I was trying to think of something kind of personal and cool. This is Unity. She is my favourite plush. She is my stuffed unicorn. She's very special to me. My mum got her for me when I was like 7 or 8. From the Tesco Christmas range, which was kind of odd at the time, but she is my favourite plush and she sleeps in my bed every night with me and I love her. Anyway guys, that was my 50 facts about me. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned something. I would also like to know stuff about you, so in the comments below leave me a fact about you, anything. I'm just really nosy. I'm still getting over the 1,000 subscribers thing. That's awesome. You guys are the reason I make videos. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't. Or I would, but it would be kind of weird. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this and I will see you next time. Bye bye. Love.